Okay, this will be part 2, and this is the question to Tim. Show us where we've lied. Now, what Tim will say is that how he defines our hate Bryan Denlinger cult is that he says we hate Romans 10. No, we don't hate Romans 10. We just say it's not the gospel. Romans 10 is the Word of God. We don't hate the Word of God. But if you're using Romans 10 as part of your gospel, you're using a false gospel. JT called out Robert Breaker on Romans 10:10 because he says Robert Breaker was reading that incorrectly, like Robert Breaker always does. And a lot of guys do, as well as Robert Breaker, because they don't know how to deal with it. Confession is made because of salvation. And you'll have people up there talking about, hey, when you get saved, you'll confess it to somebody, blah, blah, blah. That's not what the verse says. The verse says unto salvation. That means you're not saved to make the confession. And JT rightly called out Breaker on that. Because Breaker can't read. Unto doesn't mean because. And because they can't figure out what that verse means, and I've seen other pastors do it, they just switch the meaning. Because they'll be faith alone guys. And they say, well, how are we going to figure this out? So we'll just make confession because of, you confess because of salvation. No, it's confession's onto salvation. King James guys can't read it. Then they run Romans 10:13. And time again, they'll never cite Romans 10:14. You know what that means? It means they're liars. See, we don't hate Romans 10. We'll quote the whole verse. We'll quote the entire chapter. They won't. They're chopped into pieces. How can they call upon him in whom they have believed? Oh, it means belief comes before calling. 1 Corinthians, Paul starts talking about the Corinthians who call upon the name of the Lord. Save people. But because they want to use Romans 10:13 to justify a sinner's prayer, they don't quote Romans 10:14. The same thing with Revelation 3:20. Evangelists think today think they can use any verse, any way, in order to deceive people into getting saved. And I say deceive people because they're not giving the true gospel. Oh, I got this guy. I told him to invite Christ in their heart. That's not true gospel. Oh, I got this guy. He said a sinner's prayer. No, that's not true gospel. But let's go on here with Tim. Tim called us liars. And I tell you what, Tim has said more hostile things about Robert Breaker in these videos than I ever did. Oh, I'm not going to be like those guys obsessing over Robert Breaker, Bryan Denlinger. See, these guys always think you're obsessed when you take them to task in your videos. They make a 2-hour, 3-hour video. And so you make shorter videos, like maybe 5 videos to deal with it, and you'll call obsessive. Because they don't want to have their videos checked. See, Bryan Denlinger can't stand it. And if you're a true teacher, you don't care. You say, bring it on. Bring it on. You know what I get on my videos? I get comments. Or ad hominem. That's all. Because they don't want to watch the videos. Now I'll show stuff in there could be, be critical of. But knowing these guys don't have the guts to actually watch the videos. And actually deal with what I'm saying. They just come on there, and usually it's some empty channel, or some end channel will have some stupid things on it. You go back there and say, well, let's look and see what the channel is. Oh, Ed, you're just mean. Ed, you're just obsessed with the Robert Breaker. Ed, Robert Breaker never set a date. Ed, you're just jealous of Gene Kim. Oh, Ed, why don't you just do expository teaching and leave these guys alone? Leave these guys alone. So they can continue lying. Leave the wolves alone, Ed. Don't worry about them eating those sheep over there. Leave them alone. Why are you picking on those wolves? Oh, it doesn't matter that that Robert Breaker says this nutty thing and this another nutty thing, and he lies about this and lies about that, lies about the whole issue of Civil War. Doesn't matter. He's got 1 Corinthians 1-4. That's what he uses. Wait, before I start anything, here's 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4. See, I'm giving the scriptures. I'm giving the doctrine. I'm giving the gospel. That means you can't touch me. They're nutty. Oh, article back in 2000. Oh, I wasn't. I'm searching the scriptures to see if my opinion on interracial marriage is correct. Oh, I didn't find anything in scriptures to support what I said. So I'm just going to say it's my opinion. Do you know interracial married children are harder to save than children from non-interracial marriage? Did you know that? Robert Breaker knew it. That's according to his own studies, people. It's according to his own Robert Breaker's own studies. He knew that. He knew that back in 2000. He made a study on that. That if you're a child from interracial marriage, you're going to be harder to save than one from that's not. Robert Breaker knew that back in 2000, people. Think you just don't know that. But he's a real Bible believer. See, he has scripture. See, you don't have scripture. You have opinion. That's his whole thing. Ed, you just have opinions. I give you scriptures. Bryan Denlinger gives you scriptures. Gene Kim gives you scriptures. Hoffman gives you scriptures. Yeah, Satan gave Lord Jesus Christ scriptures. He just twisted them. And then you come back and say, just leave Hoffman alone. Just leave Breaker alone. Just leave Kim alone. Now we get Tim. Tim has finally seen the light. But he knew it all along. He knew it all along. So let me go back here. Go about 35 minutes in.
It's like, Brian, if you're not a bishop, then what are you really then?
He's nothing. Do you understand that? He has no church. If he's not a bishop, what is he? What have we been telling you, Tim, for 5 years? He has no church. But you morons are sending him money like he has a church. And he'll get up in front of his video and say, oh, I have a church. And he'll go out there and canoe. In his canoe something that the lake he probably owns. He probably owns a lake that you people spent money on. So now he's up there, Mr. Nature Boy, saying, this is my church. When the Bible clearly defines what a local church is. But Bryan Denlinger's up there, he's part of the universal church, he claims. The universal church, all people born by the Holy Spirit into union with Christ. But he's not part of any local church. And he's certainly not a pastor of any local church. But you morons keep him sending money.
An elder,
He's nothing. Because he has no local church, Tim. He's not an elder. He's not a bishop. He's not a pastor. He's not a deacon. Hey, Tim, get that through your thick head. He's nothing. Zero. No local church. He's a liar.
It's ridiculous how he did that.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. But we're the bad guys, Tim. You stay away from us. You stay away, Tim. You know, the Roman 10 haters, as you call them. I'm not those Roman 10 haters.
I talked to him about the qualifications of a bishop, and one of the qualifications of a bishop is being gentle to people, you know?
It's also being honest. It's also being honest. There's a qualification. There's a qualification for you to be a bishop. How about being honest?
You reserve your name calling your stuff for the very serious wicked heretics that are just flat out rejecting and just being flat out devilish. Not Brother Jake. Known that man for a long time.
Rejecting what? He says people reject what? The things he says are sins. The things he says are sins. And therefore, if he says, remember he says, he points out there's only 3 things that Christians can have some flexibility on. 3 things. Everything else, if you don't line up with Bryan Denlinger, you're lost. But Bryan Denlinger will keep going back and forth on it. You see, he's very clever on that. I know you're struggling with this. See, as long as you're struggling with sin, you're saved. It's when you say, well, I'm comfortable with my sin, and this sin doesn't, you rationalize your sin. Well, Bryan Denlinger is very comfortable with his sins, people. Bryan Denlinger is very comfortable with his sins. His sin of stealing, his sin of lying, his sin of manipulation. He's very comfortable. And Tim's just figuring that out.
Hey, man.
Just like other guys have come out. Like Chad came out. The issue of Jesus Christ as the Father. Chad came out. And a bunch of others. I get people, as I said, I get email from people. And I get email too, Breaker. You know, Breaker, he always gets his email saying, yeah, thanks to Ed Fenninger. I'm coming, I'm in your ministry now, Breaker. Ed Fenninger, he's a liar. Yeah, right. Okay. I get video. I get email too, Breaker. Thanking me. Thank you, Ed, for keeping me out of Robert Breaker and Bryan Denlinger's cult. The cult of the PBI nuts, the racist nuts. Oh, we're not racist because we don't want to destroy the race. That's their definition of racism. They create their own definitions. Well, racist must be someone who wants to destroy the other race. How about someone's racist who thinks you can enslave another race? Like the Confederates. Oh, Robert Breaker wouldn't be defending the racist, the Confederates, would they? They're not racist. Or they just want to enslave one race. Oh no, Ed, you're lying again. You're lying. You have no proof. This is what they always do with Trump. You have no proof. I got the, because they don't watch my videos. Go to the Lawrence Vance, who's a neo-Confederate guy. He thinks the Confederate Constitution was better than the American Constitution. We're allowed the expansion of Negro slavery. It wasn't racist. The Confederacy wasn't racist. It was just based on, economics and all these slave owners. They were really Christians, and they treated their slaves really well. It's all a myth. It's all a myth. You Yankees made up.
I do love him very much in the Lord, and he may have his issues.
You think we're going to stop pounding these guys until I get taken off YouTube? YouTube collapses, The stuff that's going on between these guys, the Bryan Denlinger people, will never happen between. Now, we've had disagreements between we see Jason arguing and Jay arguing. But I'll tell you what, nobody's ever called these guys, either one of them, lost. None of them said that they, they're liars. There's a disagreement on them between them. And there's some bad blood between them. But the fact of the matter is, we've never said that called Jason lost or Jay lost. These guys throw that around. Oh, you must be lost because you're arguing with me. You're arguing this, you're arguing that.
But he's a saved man. And to come at him that hard, inadvertently, no, not at all. But, again, continuing here, if you're not a bishop, then what are you? Being an elder excuses what you said?
He's nothing. He's not part of a local church. He's not part of a local church. He's nothing. He's a nobody. He's a thief. You're gonna call these guys gonna call it somewhere, which was earlier or the other video. I have to go for the first video. I should go more closely. He's a husker. He's a thief. He's lying to people, but he has to lie. He has to say, "Oh, he has a local church. He belongs to a church, the church of nature." But now you finally catching on, Tim.
You said your ministry to lost.
He's a huckster.
You said you minister to lost and saved, therefore you are not in the office of a bishop.
You said you minister to lost and saved, therefore you are not in the office of a bishop. That's not the office of a bishop. The office of a bishop is over a local church. That's what you call pastor. Another word for pastor is bishop. What does that have to do with you minister to lost? What do you mean you minister to lost? You mean you evangelize the lost? No, it's the local church that ministers to save people, and lost people are evangelized. This guy just makes up stuff. He's brain dead. Brain dead. Oh, Ed, you're obsessive. Oh, Max, you're obsessive. Oh, Frank, you're obsessive. Oh, leave break alone. And Denlinger alone. But leave these guys alone. Oh, we're not going to leave them alone.
Revelation for Bible-believing Christians. A lot of your ministry is dedicated to save brethren. I don't get
That's what the local church is for, by the way. Not evangelism, people. All you people who come on my videos and yap at me, just preach the gospel. Just preach the gospel. The local church, is supposed to teach Bible doctrine. That's what most of the church activity should be. Because if you expect the people in the church to be saved. And that, by the way, is why you have water baptism. So all you people out there who reject water baptism, that's why you have a local church water baptism, because you expect, if these people are honest, that they've been water baptized, you know they're saved. Because that represents the gospel. It's symbolic of the gospel. They're identifying with Jesus Christ and his death, burial, and resurrection. So when a preacher's looking out there, except for visitors, he's looking at a congregation out there of saved people, and he can explain Bible doctrine to them because he knows they're saved. Not a bunch of people coming in who doesn't know if they know the right gospel. So there's a purpose for water baptism, people.
And I don't get it. I'm not in the office of a bishop. Then what are you? Really, it's just ludicrous how he said that to me. But continuing here.
Everything Bryan Denlinger says is ludicrous. Tim? Everything. So I'm going to stop put this up. I want these videos short enough for people who want to watch these things. Remember, this is a guy from the inside. This isn't Ed or Max or Frank or Jay. We're just Bryan haters. This is a guy from inside, the inner circle. This is a guy for 5 years, I don't know how many years, maybe 4 years, 3 years, who knew the truth. He's going to say he knew the truth, these heresies, of combining the salvation event with sanctification. That's why Bryan, calls everyone lost. He knew it for years, and he mocked us. everything we said about Bryan Denlinger, that he's a phony. He wears a costume so people can clone him. He pretends to be part of a local church. Now he says, well, he's not a bishop because he's ministering to both the lost. I think he means by the lost, I think he means the scrolls or something like that. I'm ministering to the birds out here and the saved. No, you're not a bishop because you don't have a local church. That's what a bishop is, a pastor. He oversees. There's nothing this guy, Bryan Denlinger, doesn't say that does not contain some lying to it, which is what this guy Tim will tell you. But you won't believe us for 5 years. For 5 years we've been mocked and ridiculed. Oh, whitey Ed, pasty face, like the children, And they attack Max. They dox him, and they mock him for something, and they max, Frank and Jay and and Jason. Couldn't refute anything we said. Just mock. And now what's Tim saying? Everything we said. Oh, but we don't hate to keep this, chapter 10, Romans chapter 10. When does chapter 10 hate us? Like we hate that chapter. Oh, we hate the sinner's prayer. Because it's not part of the gospel. Not part of the gospel. I mean, you read Romans 10 correctly. You have to admit that. Because they won't read Romans 10:14. And of course, what JT makes his little booklet up. And he says, well, I thought it came to me what the truth of Romans 10:14. One is a head belief, one's a heart belief. Oh, there we got it. That explains why it's in Romans 10:14. It's a head belief, and then you get the heart belief. First you get the head belief, then you get the heart belief. So let me stop, put this up, and continue on. I'm going to break these guys down. You say, well, wait, I got time. See, you people watch Bryan Denlinger videos, you think that's a real big deal, making him putting a video up once in a while. It's like, that's his ministry, full-time ministry. He's not working 8 hours a day in his ministry. He can't get to some emails. Robert Baker's supposed to be full-time ministry. And he does more stuff, I would say. But he doesn't take comments on a lot of his videos. Because he's terrified of losing people watching his videos. That's why he's terrified. That's why he makes long, drawn-out comments on my videos. Oh, before I get started, let me quote 1 Corinthians 1-5, 1-4. You gotta make sure somebody, gets a pious, pompous moron. He said, oh, hey, he's just giving the gospel. He's giving the gospel between lies. He sticks the truth between lies. And the gospel isn't 1 Corinthians 1-4. The gospel is 3 and 4. The death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. 1 and 2 have nothing to do with the gospel. Paul is setting up something. The Christian walk in 1 Corinthians 15. If you keep this in mind. Since when is believing the gospel something you have to keep in mind as part of the requirement to be saved? But you guys have itching ears. You won't listen to sound doctrine. You won't listen. But that doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter to us if you listen or not listen. The watchman on the wall doesn't care if you heed to the call or not. It's not. The blood will be on you, not on us. We are the watchman on the wall. We told you about these guys. We told you they were lying to you. A pastor who will lie to you and wrest scriptures can't be listened to. I'm not talking about mistakes. I'm not talking about mistakes and things that are hard to understand, probably things that, well, we can disagree about certain things. We're talking about lies where you put an issue to them and they purposely wrest scriptures. They run to James 2 and try to defend a faith work system. They try to tell you James is not written to Christians. They try to tell you Hebrews is not written to Christians. Christian Jews, the very first Jews were Hebrew Jews. That's not a mistake. That's a lie. That they defend a heresy. And they mock and they fight and argue against anybody who refutes him on that. James 2 is about salvation. Everybody, eternal salvation. You can see clearly, Kim will put up in his book. Have you read Gene Kim's book? The Ruckman. Have you read the books that have been recommended? No. No, you can't be bothered. Jason thought I was lying before he actually read the article. Because he was listening to Robert Breaker. Robert Breaker was telling him, oh, Ed's lying to you about interracial children, the children being of interracial marriages are harder to save. He actually told Jason that I was lying about that. And Jason believed it until he actually read the article. He said, oh my God, that's what he says. That's how far these guys said. Breaker will actually lie about what he writes. He defends a system, a Confederate system, that was built on the idea of expansion of Negro slavery, which was tyranny, that rejected the Declaration of Independence. And you guys all think that's fine. But that's the whole thing from Ruckman on. That's the root. That's the root. And now come on, the guy, you never teach anything but this. I've got about 1,000 videos up to teach many other things. Many other things dealing with the Christian walk, dealing with self-salvation. You're not teaching anything, Ed. They don't look. They don't look. Because they don't want to look. They rather believe a lie. This is about the last days, itching ears. Isaiah 30. Don't tell us the truth. Tell us sweet lies and delusion. They want to be lied to. Robert Breaker's a liar. I don't care what else he's doing, but he lies on particular issues. And he has no qualms about lying. Gene Kim will lie to you. Hoffman will lie to you. To defend a heresy, you gotta lie. It's not a matter of being, making a mistake. Jack Smack 77. He'll lie to you. Oh, I don't teach the crossless gospel. Jesus saves. That's all you need to know. Jesus saves. John 6, Jesus Christ gives you eternal life. That's all you need to know. You're saved. That's not a crossless gospel. John 3:16 will save you. Ed's a liar. Exposing Ed Fenninger. John 3:16. When even his guy, Hodges, said John 3:16 couldn't save you because he had to go to John 3:14 and 15. Even his own guy said that before he went off the wall in earlier work. John 3:16 is referring to the context of Numbers 21, where they would see the serpent being raised up and they would just look and be faith alone and represent the cross. Oh no, that's a lie. You have to just believe John 3:16. That's all you need. You don't even know who Jesus Christ is. You have to know who Jesus Christ is. You don't have to know that anything about his resurrection. You have to know what he died for your sins on the cross. Just know John 3:16 and you'll get saved. Ed Fenninger exposed. At the end of this little video is a little clip, crossless gospel. Yes, crossless gospel. Well, let's put this up. Steal some more stuff. Why do you put the videos up? Because they're there so people can run across them and say. Most of them are going to reject them. We know that. The seed being put out, it's 1 in 4 pick up the have a good reaction. 3 out of 4, when you put the seed out, you get the parable. 3 out of 4 don't come back for any fruit. 1 out of 4. These videos are just seed. We just put them out. Most are going to be rejected. Most of them are too stupid. People are too stupid and hardened to believe the truth. They'd rather listen to people make funny, stupid ways to say people's names. That's the little gimmick these guys, or attack their looks. That's the big thing. So, yeah, what's all attack is, how he looks. He's, pale Eddie, blah, 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 Like, that's like, bother me something. Well, who cares? You don't deal with the substance. You're just obsessed with Bryan Denlinger. You're obsessed. We're going to go through Tim here and show you everything Tim said is what we said for 5 years. And then Tim's going to say, he's not like the liars from the hate Bible, the hate Bryan Denlinger cult. Oh no, he's not like that. He just repeated everything, showing everything that we said for 5 years. And then Tim knew and didn't have the guts, didn't have the fortitude to get on one of our channels and say, you guys are right about this. And Bryan Denlinger was wrong. And he admits that he was a respected of persons. He was in awe of Bryan Denlinger. He admits that. And that's why we go after these guys. Because we're not in awe of them. We know the overinflated, puffed up morons. And we're going to pop their bubble. A lot of baby Christians will come up and say, ooh, look at this guy, look at that, oh, look at that. Robert Baker's like the used car salesman guy. He's always smiling at you and gregarious, Then Bryan Denlinger is like, he's the preacher of righteousness. People hate him according to Robert Baker. According to Bryan Denlinger, people hate him because he preaches righteousness. That's why people hate him according to Bryan Denlinger. People hate me because I preach against sin. And you know what the argument is? Why are you attacking my ministry? Because you're lying. How about that? These rules are out there, you guys don't care. Oh, Tim is out there saying, I'm not going to be obsessive about Bryan Denlinger's videos. I'm not going to make more videos. So he's going to let the sheep die. Yeah, Tim. You're not going to expose Bryan Denlinger. You're just going to go by the Titus and say, oh, 2 admonitions and walk out. That's dealing with the individual. That's not dealing with the heresies. You avoided the heresies for 5 years. At least 5 years when this thing started. You're probably still involved. I know you're still involved in the racial history, which is total moronic because you say, well, if they look different. The reason Spanish, if people in Central America have Spanish descent, but they look different, is because they were intermarried with Indians. It's like you people we can figure it out. Yeah, the Spanish were from Japheth. But the Indians are from Shem. What's Shem? Oh, Shem is the line of the Jews. Indians. The Orientals. Can't marry them. Nuts, boy. Nutty as fruitcakes. when we put this up. Amen. Thank you.